Welcome back to the Highline Podcast. Hit that button.
Yeah!
Let's go!
You can't do that.
I can't get it right.
Shut the up and let me talk.
I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
You're only young,
But you're gonna die. Proceed to party.
Ooh, are you ready, Riley?
What did he say?
Go Tigers.
That's incorrect.
Go Cox. I think that might be the best one we've ever done. That was good. I like that. Denny said, I don't know if I've ever been good enough. I'm a little bit rusty and I think my head is caving in. And he doesn't know if he's ever been really loved by a hand that's touched him, and I feel like something's gonna give. And he's a little bit angry, well, this ain't over, no, not here. Now while I still need you around, you don't owe me, we might change, yeah. Yeah, we might just feel good. Chase wants to push you around. Well, he will. He wants to push you down. Well, he will. He wants to take you for granted.
Ding, ding, ding.
Well, he wants to take you for granted. Yeah, well, he will.
He fucking will! Chase Elliott, victory lane! Let's go!
Fuck that guy.
That was the greatest last lap ever. Almost topped Blaney's at Daytona.
Well, then it's not the greatest last lap ever.
Well, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. Blaney's. It topped Blaney's at Daytona, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well.
Let's fucking go!
I wonder if I'm ever going to get to shotgun a beer.
Chase Elliott out of nowhere! Where did he come from?
Could have been Chris.
Yeah, well, Chris Elliott.
Yeah.
Chris Bush is just not a good enough driver as Chase Elliott.
Yeah, apparently not.
I like Chris, but he ain't got it. He ain't got it. Back to back for my guys.
Yep.
What a time. What did
Man, what a time.
what a time to be alive.
To be alive.
I would have sung that song.
It's you and yours
It's my song this week.
versus me and mine.
Yep. So
That's
now
a
it's gonna go all downhill from here on out.
Yeah,
for me.
hopefully.
They'll both make the round of 8 and they'll both blow up all 3 races.
That'd be nice.
Fuck you. You like Blaney?
Not really.
Yes, you do.
Fuck them.
Oh, it's a great day in the upstate of South Carolina.
Not really. It's been a really shitty day for me, actually, already. I've been
Oh,
up
okay.
for fucking 15 minutes.
What happened there, bud?
My fucking dog, dude.
Go Dogs.
I'm going to have to
They
give...
had a rough weekend, too.
Yeah, they did. I'm going to have to give Ava my you can't do that. That fucking bitch, literally, she is a bitch. She's a female dog. She's a husky, if you guys don't know. And that motherfucker is an escape artist. I mean, she's been watching fucking Escape from Alcatraz and...
Welcome to The Rock.
The Rock. And what's the one with Sylvester Stallone?
Prison Break or something.
Yeah, Prison Break. She's been watching all that shit. I got a fence in my backyard for one reason and one reason only. So I can let my dogs out to run around and play and have a good time and use the bathroom and do all that stuff without me having to worry about them. And for some reason, my dog doesn't think that my house is good enough. Apparently, I don't feed her enough, don't give her enough water, not enough attention, not enough toys. So she thinks she needs to dig out from underneath my fence and go fucking run into the woods. And
She run into a coyote one of these days.
I've been having that issue with her since we moved into this house, but it's been few and far between. I want you guys to know that dog has been outside of my fence more days this month, well, last month,
About to say.
than inside of it. She got out, I think, every day this last week. Every day. I opened the door this morning or this afternoon when I woke up after working all night last night. Matter of fact, she got out yesterday when I let her out before I went to work. I was late for work. Thanks, Ava. Got out. I opened the door. I literally opened the door, watched what she did. She opened the door, ran straight to the fence, dug a hole underneath that bitch, which was already there. She just kind of cleared it out a little bit, and just fucking snaked her way out. Gone. Gone in 60 seconds.
Oh.
I'm tired of this shit. Then
Funny.
we're working on our children's bedrooms. You're trying to put yours together. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to reorganize mine for my daughter, and that shit's retarded. She's got way too much stuff. Boy, it's just been a day.
Hey,
it's been a day already.
You Gamecocks won.
Gamecocks won. Broncos beat the fuck out of the Bengals.
Yeah, I missed most of that game. I was driving back from my farm.
But so sporting-wise, other than the NASCAR race, was all right for me this weekend. But this dog, anybody needs a husky, let me know. She might be on the open market.
I'm about to say put her on Facebook Marketplace.
I think she's a free agent. I'm accepting trade offers, but I will not be extending that contract at the end of the season. I promise you. Shit's ridiculous.
Oh, man. My dog don't get out.
Fuck that dog.
My dog don't get out. We had the same fence.
Yeah, but you didn't buy a fucking husky.
Thank God.
I will never own another one. They are retarded.
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Obviously, Chase winning on Sunday was good for me. I've been busy as hell though throughout this week. Going out to my farm Monday, checking trail cameras in the damn pouring rain. That was not fun. By myself at that. So it was a lot of walking. Got some good bucks on trail camera though this year. All on one camera. They were all a group of them. Here, I'll show you to you real quick. Not the audience, but I'll show you.
You can put it on the YouTube video. Damn!
That was all in one field.
You know what's crazy about that is you'd still miss.
I ain't crazy about that. You still just missed. Don't remind me. Hey, what happened last year though? Smoked them.
That's a big motherfucking deer right there.
Yeah. There's a 9-pointer that's massive. He was the first one that showed up.
That one there?
I think so.
Yeah, there's some good deer, huh?
There's some good racks.
Put that picture up on the YouTube video for the...
Well, so they can go down to
The
Georgia
audience.
and fucking kill my
They
deer.
don't know where your fucking Georgia farm is.
Yeah, there's a better picture of them.
You'd still miss them.
Probably. So would you.
Dough tastes better, though.
Yes, they do. But no, so I did that Monday and did all one day.
Did you break this chair?
Huh?
Did you break this chair?
I think something happened to it.
Yeah, I wonder.
I don't know what happened. Something. I think.
I feel
I
like
think a squirrel got in
I
here.
feel like I'm sitting in a damn back seat. Just feel like a damn lazy
I didn't do
boy.
nothing to it this weekend, which is weird because I was sitting there last night. It was like wiggling, and I'm like, "What the fuck's going on with this thing?"
Well, it definitely is.
Low on air pressure.
Yeah, it needs a couple rounds of the right rear for sure.
But anyways, I did the farm stuff on Monday. Yesterday, I was building my baby crib and a dresser for the baby. Yesterday in this garage with my wife, which was frustrating. The dresser wasn't too bad. The crib was actually the worst part. It took us 15, 20 minutes to figure out because the instructions were not helpful hardly at all. It wasn't like. So it took us a while. But once we got that figured out, we were able to get that together. And then today, I still doing the switcheroos with the beds and moving shit out so I can move my crib in and pimp my crib, pimp my ride. Didn't they have a pimp my crib too?
I don't
Pimp
know.
my house or
Maybe.
something? Probably, I'm sure they did. So I've been busy. Cut the grass earlier today. It's been needing to be done. So I've just been doing a lot of shit around here. Now we got the podcast. It's just full go, 100% all the fucking time. And yeah, my week off's already almost over, and I've been busy.
Mine's just starting.
It's just starting.
I'm gonna get a lot of nothing done.
I'm gonna
this
grab your wiener and twist it.
week. Yeah, at least somebody would.
Oh man.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
No, it's not.
Um,
I'll do it.
Yeah. I think.
I gotta find it first.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. I think what you're doing right now is delaying something. What is it that you might be delaying? What are you trying to put off?
Nothing. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna have for dinner.
What are you having? I'm having chili.
What?
I'm having chili.
We're going somewhere is all I know. Got paid today, so
Oh,
I can
good.
afford it.
Must be nice.
You get paid on Fridays, right?
Wednesdays.
Oh, you get paid next Wednesday. So you get paid. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought you got paid on like Thursdays or Fridays.
Sometimes it comes in on Thursday, but most of the time it comes in late Wednesday night.
Always coming in late. I always like to come in late.
Yeah. But
Yes, I am delaying shotgunning a beer for Chase Elliott winning. Back to back. I tell you, it's a good problem to have. You wouldn't know about it.
No, I wouldn't. When's the last time anybody won a race? Watkins Glen for me? Last year?
Last year. It's been over a year now.
Should have had a couple for Brad this year.
Should have had one for Chris at Michigan.
Should have.
Should have both been.
Should have had Brad at Bristol. Should have had Brad at Atlanta.
Sonoma.
No.
His worst track. Yeah, he should have won that race.
Should have had Brad at Iowa.
I'll tell you this. If you stop being fans of them, I guarantee you they'll start winning.
He should.
You know what? Fuck RFK. I'm cheering for Cody Ware.
Brad
Next
should-
week, fucking RFK 1, 2, 3.
Brad should probably be like the third seed in the playoffs this year,
I wouldn't go that far.
based on wins
Oh,
that he
wins?
should have had.
I'm about to say he got one.
But see, are you going to do it sitting down? You did it last week sitting down, and it was
Try
better.
it. Yeah, it was pretty good.
The hole's better. You did the hole right this time,
Oh, thank you.
and it's not taking you 15 minutes to do it.
I know. You're getting a rhythm
Yeah,
here. I
you
mean,
get a
it gets pretty easy.
If I had to do it right now, I'd probably not know how. I think I probably have to look up a YouTube video, a tutorial.
Shit. All right. Well,
3, 2,
I'm
1,
ready
go.
for. No. Chase Elliott, get it done in Kansas. Fuck all the Toyotas. Fuck them all. Fuck them by. Chase Elliott in a round of 8.
Breaking news from NASCAR: Chase Elliott disqualified from.
Okay. I would throw this beer. I'd stop. We'd stop recording. I'm not doing it. All right.
well.
Chase Elliott winning at Kansas out of nowhere.
We're not in Kansas.
new Kevin
anymore.
Harvick.
Who?
We are not in Kansas anymore. Last time you people saw the board, that's what it still says. So,
Yep.
Chase Elliott round of 8. Let's get Blaney and Elliott in the championship 4. Let's do it.
That's not.
Let's do it.
I'd rather have a fucking slate of Toyotas.
No, you wouldn't.
Give me Bubba Wallace.
Listen here.
Give me Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, William Byron, and
You do not mean any of this. These are your least favorite drivers. Austin Dillon gets back in.
Austin Dillon somehow.
All right, count me down.
3, 2, 1.
No. All right, here we go. Woo! Go Don!
3, 2, 1, go. Oh my God, he did it correctly. Chug, 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 chug. Fast as fuck, boy. You're getting good at that.
Woo! That was your woo. Did you do that one time?
How you feel?
Oh.
How you feel? How you feel? How you feel? 25 sitting
Cool
on
me down. I
25
will
mil.
say that.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
hot
sure.
as fucking here.
Your internal body temperature just dropped.
It's gonna heat back up though after
It will. It's
gets on
hot
my
as fucking
system.
here. But
Let's go 9.
you asked me a question.
What did I ask you?
I don't recall.
How big is it?
Not very. You good?
I'm good. Hell, when I make a mess, they go down easier.
Yeah.
When I'm
you
perfect.
Don't drink it all.
We don't need to talk about that.
But
Back to back, perfect. Not a drop. Come at me now, bitch. I'll challenge anybody to a shotgun contest except Cole Furtick. I ain't mess with that boy.
yeah, he can shotgun pretty well.
He did it in like 2 seconds one time.
I'm pretty good at it.
You're
I'm
not-
pretty-
You're not. You're like the. You're not like in the MJ Kobe.
Kobe's not in
But,
MJ's. Kobe's not in
Yes,
MJ's.
he is.
No, he's
yes,
not.
You're around.
Dude, he's like the sixth best Laker of
You're
all
around the
time.
Brian Scalabrine. You're around the Ty Lawson era.
Ty Lawson. Well, Ty Lawson, alcohol.
So are you?
That's not true. I don't have a drinking problem. I got it figured out.
Yeah, you got yeah. Anyways, let's talk about Kansas.
Let's not.
Let's do it.
Tell me about Kansas since you're gone one.
Man. Awesome race. Obviously, the end of the race, wild craziness, absolute joy, jubilation on my end. Chase Elliott coming out of nowhere to win that race. About tore my ACL in your kitchen celebrating. That was scary there for a minute. And my knee has still bothered me a little bit. I guess it's just from me jumping around and just my leg was like, what the fuck are you doing? But about passed out in your kitchen as well. So that win about killed me. About took my knee out and about caused me to stop breathing. So that was a wild race. Wish you had recorded it. That would have been a great clip to put on the Highline TikTok and YouTube accounts. But overall, I thought it was a great race. Denny Hamlin was the best driver, best team all day long. He deserved to win that race. But execution, mechanical problems. He had the power steering problem, which he talked about more on his podcast.
Which you didn't believe for some reason.
Monday. I mean, I've just never seen somebody have lose power steering, and he didn't. To be fair, he didn't lose it. He just had it to where if you went certain ways with the steering wheel, it would lock up on him, and he had to pull it out. So it wasn't like he lost all power steering. That's why it's like, if this motherfucker didn't have any power steering, and even what's his face asked him, if you didn't have any power steering at all, could you compete? He's like, oh hell no. So that's my point. Like, he didn't lose all power steering, if you listen to his podcast and stuff. So, but still, had the best car and was still able to almost win the race at the end. So Denny Hamlin, I give all the credit to him for fighting that car to been able to have a chance to win that race at the end. Obviously, it didn't go well for him or Bubba Wallace. Bubba, he drove Christopher Bell kind of dirty on the last couple of restarts, kind of, making him lift off four, putting him in the wall, coming to the white flag on the last restart. And then, we all know what happened on that last lap. But Toyota's dominated the day. Chase Elliott was probably the best non-Toyota in the field, which is also – him and Larson were very close to each other. But, it's weird to see that since this playoff has started, in my opinion, Chase Elliott's been the best Hendrick car. Take away this win this weekend. If he finishes third, he's been the best Hendrick car. William Byron has not showed up yet.
Nope.
Alex Bowman's already out. And Kyle Larson's been 5th to 8th the whole time. So I give Chase Elliott and the 9 team a lot of credit for how they've ran, considering how their teammates are kind of a little bit behind them right now. And that's been the knock on Chase Elliott. That's been the knock on you. Oh, look at his teammates. Look at William Byron and Kyle Larson, what they're doing. Chase Elliott's back there running 12th. You can't really say that about Chase Elliott right now because they're outrunning his Hendrick teammates. So love to see that. But it was Hendrick and Gibbs all day. 23-11 thrown in there as well. Bubba started out the race pretty bad. Was able to rebound and get his car up there, track position, and he was able to hold on to it. And he drove a great race, trying to hold on to the win. He needed to win the race. He's below the cut line. And then, what happened on the last lap, we'll talk about here in a little bit. But overall, great passing throughout the field. There were some lulls for sure in the race, but a lot of comers and goers, a lot of passing throughout the field. Dirty air still played a big factor if your cars were pretty close together and he takes your line away and you can't really run nowhere but that line. You're kind of screwed. But I mean, we saw Logano and Blaney kind of come up from the back to the front. Saw Shane come from the back to the front, get a top 10 at the end of the day. I think he might have had a top 5 car. I mean, that 88 car was fast all day. So, you had guys that come up throughout the field. And Brad, same thing with Brad. He came up from the back to the front after being lapped down for most of the race. So, that's good to see. If you got a good enough car, I want you to be able to show it off and be able to move throughout the field instead of just getting stuck behind somebody and you can't do nothing. Tire wear was evident I'd like a little bit more because the leader, we only saw, I think, 2 passes for the lead all day, and I think that was with Hamlin passing Briscoe at the initial start, and then Hamlin passing Elliott on stage 3 after pit stops, I believe, or after a restart or something. So still very hard to pass the leader. Getting the top 3 or top 4, it's really hard to pass, but I'll take it, man. It's a great race, 9 out of 10. It blew the spring race out of the water for me. Spring race is really dull. Not a lot happened. Kyle Larson dominated. And to be fair, Denny Hamlin kind of dominated the same way that Larson did in the spring, but it just felt completely different. Like, it looked completely different out on the racetrack. There was way more passing throughout the field, in my opinion. And yeah, of course, you had a great finish. Great finishes always help when you think about races. I remember this race for a long time. We always talk about this. Well, we remember this race. A lot of times we were like, yeah, it was a decent race, but I won't remember it in 2 weeks. I'll remember this race for a long time. So 9 out of 10, great race.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great race. Great finish always helps, which obviously the guy who wanted to win the race didn't win the race, but still a great finish, very entertaining. Passing throughout the field throughout the day, like you said, comers and goers, goers and comers. My guys were kind of competitive, then they weren't competitive, and then the one that you thought was going to have a good day didn't, and the one that you thought was going to have a terrible day did finish all right. And there were some wrecks and some battling, some disagreements on track. You had the 38 flip his dick off.
Forgot about that.
Very interesting race, like you said. 9 out of 10, I think, is a good estimation of what this race was. It was way better than the spring, like you said. Even though it was kind of dominated by the 11, the rest of the field was very competitive. The 11 should have won the race, but like you said, had some execution issues on pit road with that last pit stop, and still probably should have won the race at the end. Just kind of drove in over his head going into 3 and 4 on the last lap. But very entertaining, really, really interesting race, good finish. Whatever that happens, you can't be mad at it. So, like you said, 9 out of 10, I think's spot on.
All right. You know what wasn't spot on? That last lap for a Toyota. Had 5 Toyotas in the top 5 on the restart. Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, and Denny Hamlin. Then you had some guys that were on the 2-tire strategy, I believe. I think Larson was on 2. I think Byron was on 2. Chase Elliott had taken 4. He restarted 10th.
Taken.
Whatever. And you're thinking in the restart, like, there's no way Toyota's not going to win this race. And then Bubba kind of squeezes Bell. They both have to get out of the gas, all 4 coming to the white. That allows Briscoe and Hamlin and Chase Elliott to get back in the mix. Hamlin passes Bell and Briscoe, and then also he's second. And then Elliott's battling Briscoe for third. And then ultimately going into 3 and 4, Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace kind of go for the same spot, kind of. Denny pushes up. Of course, his power steering isn't the best. Kind of just goes all the way up the track, puts Bubba in the wall. He tries to come back down. And Chase Elliott just kind of passes them both. Chase Elliott says, "Get the fuck out of my way, Denny," and beats him to the line. And Chase Elliott is your winner. And a lot of people are not happy with Denny Hamlin, the way he drove that last corner. Riley, what are your thoughts on how that last lap transpired? And did Denny do anything wrong there?
Well, obviously Denny did something wrong because he didn't win the race. But I don't think he did anything dirty, and I don't think he did anything egregious, and I don't think he did anything to have the fans in an uproar. I think the issue with him is it's him. And no matter what Denny does, it's going to be wrong. So he's just got that. He's Kyle Busch now. He's got that reputation to no matter what happens,
He'll get the benefit of the doubt.
He's never going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever going to be like, "Oh, I get why he did that." And like I said, obviously it's not the right move because it didn't work. But I don't understand the fans that are mad at Denny for this, unless you're a Bubba Wallace fan, which, at least on the internet, there's not a ton of them. Most of NASCAR fans that you see on the internet are not Bubba Wallace fans. Most of the time, they're talking shit about stuff Bubba does. But since it's Denny, they're gonna take Bubba's side in this. But Denny has every right to try to win that race, and Bubba has every right to win that race, to try to win the race. And sometimes when drivers are both trying to win the race, they make contact and ruin each other's days. Now, I'm not saying that Bubba did anything wrong to ruin Denny's day. He did not. It's the collision and Bubba getting into the fence and Chase winning the race was 100% on Denny for what he did. But I don't think Denny deserves any backlash for this because that's racing. That's what racing has been, is you go in there, you try to make a pass, you try to slide the guy, you get a little, fender rubbing going on, and you hope you have a little bit more momentum than the guy behind you to go on and win the race. And he just didn't have it. It didn't work for him. And I don't really understand why people are mad at Denny for making that move, because Denny making that move, won the most popular driver of the race, so they should be happy that Denny did it, number one, if you're a Chase Elliott fan.
I loved it.
Number two, it makes the finish interesting, right? Instead of Denny just going in and laying over and not attempting to win the race. I mean, he's doing what he's paid to do. He goes in there and tries to drive underneath the guy and beat him. And that's why he's there, even though he owns the car that he's trying to pass. I have more respect for Denny Hamlin for making that move on Bubba Wallace because he owns Bubba's car. Denny Hamlin, when he's behind the wheel of the car, and he just proved it, does not give a fuck about 2311 Racing. He is there to win the race, and that's good. You don't want Denny Hamlin to lay over and let his guys win because he wins the race or because he owns the car. You don't want that. And there's always been a question of whether or not that was good. I know that was a question for guys when Dale started DEI and he had the cars out there that he was racing against, but he owned them. People were questioning whether or not he would be able to race those cars the same way that he raced everybody else. And people question it with Kyle Busch when he was racing against his own stuff. I think he was still racing for Joe Gibbs in the Xfinity Series sometimes when he owned KBM.
KBM, yeah.
And now they're questioning Denny because he's racing against his own cars. And he just proved that it does not matter if it's Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Brad Keselowski. If he thinks he has an opportunity to win the race, he's going to pass the car. And I think you have to give Denny some respect that he's due in that, because that takes a certain type of mentality that a lot of people might not have. And to be great, you have to have that mentality. Now, you can debate whether or not you think Denny's great, but in order to be great, you have to have that mentality. And there's no question in my mind Michael Jordan had that mentality on the court. He was out there to fucking take names and kick ass, no matter who he was going against. And Denny's got the same thing on the racetrack. And I think he's owed some respect for doing that. And like I said, it didn't work for him, but I think NASCAR fans should be applauding him for making that move, not talking shit about it.
I agree. I don't think there's more scrutiny on the fan base or on Denny from the fan base if Denny goes in there and lays an egg. Goes in there, drives into turn 3, not half-assed. Bubba just rips the fence, and Bubba wins by half a second. People then question Denny on...
Did you let him win?
Did you let him win? And I think that's way worse. And that's race manipulation. For all the shit that happened at Martinsville last fall, which nobody enjoyed. I give Denny Hamlin a lot of respect and a lot of kudos for going in there and trying to win the race. If it didn't matter if that was his team car or the fucking 5 car. He was going to go in there and try to win the race. And he didn't give a damn. He's going to try everything he could to win that race. And obviously it didn't work out. The execution wasn't there. And, the power steering problems probably hurt his car a little bit in how that transpired on that last corner. But I don't fault Denny Hamlin at all, and I know I'm a Chase Elliott fan, and he worked out for him, and I'm happy today about it. But I mean, I don't know what you want Denny to do, because Denny is screwed no matter what he does there. He goes in there and does what he does. People are gonna be like, "Oh my God, you dumbass! Why didn't you just let Bubba win? Why'd you put him in the wall? He needed to win the race, make the next round. You were fine on points. Now you let a Chevy win." Or you lay over, and people are like, "Oh, that's bullshit. Denny didn't even really try to win the race there. He was just protecting for his teammate there. Or he protecting his own car at the end of the race. That's bullshit." NASCAR should suspend him, fine him, or whatever. So, I mean, it's a lose-lose situation for Denny Hamlin, no matter what he did, unless he won the race. And even if he won the race, people will be like, "Why'd he win the race? He didn't need to win the race. Bubba needed to win that race. He should have gave it to Bubba." It's just like it's a non-stop cycle of you're gonna get fucked by the fan base, no matter how you spin it, and that's unfortunate because I do think Denny is a hell of a talent. He had the best car on Sunday. He was going for win number 60. You can kind of hear it in his voice after the race. I don't know if it's more of just exhaustion from him fighting that car all day, or fighting his car the last 50 laps with the power steering problems, or it sounds like his dad's not doing all that well. So I feel like Denny, that was really personal for him. He said Kansas is the track that he got his first career Cup start at. So he wanted to get win number 60 at the first track that he started in the Cup Series. He wanted to get this one for his dad. Like I said, there's a lot of things going through Denny's mind there. And he had the best car all day. So it's like, you had the best car all day and you're that close, you're not going to lay over for anybody. So a lot of people going through a lot of stuff right now. So I think it's just kind of it's a racing deal. Like, last lap, last corner, you know how I feel. Like, as long as you don't wreck somebody, just turn them, I'm fine with whatever the result is. Austin Dillon, what Austin Dillon did to Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin last year is not even close to what Denny Hamlin did to Bubba Wallace this past weekend. So, yeah, it's just racing. I give Denny credit for not backing down. Don't matter who it was, he was gonna go for the win, and I respect that from him. I want NASCAR guys to go for. We talk about the reason why a lot of us NASCAR fans don't like F1 is because they have team orders. I kind of got that Martinsville thing last fall. Well, if Denny Hamlin kind of backs down from 23 from Bubba Wallace right there, it's going to be self-made team orders. Oh, I own that car. You know what? I need that car in the next round. I should be good on points. You know what? He can have it. That's a 100% rule. What NASCAR tries to put into the rule book where you can't really prove. But I want these guys to go for it all the time. Now, it doesn't mean put yourself in a bad position lap after lap after lap and drive somebody in the fence on lap 10 of a 255 lap race. Like a Carson Osvar has done, like John Nemechek has done, Ty Gibbs, these guys that overstep their boundaries at a time where it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to, or fight somebody hard that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to in the middle of a race. But hey, last couple laps, I'm down for anything as long as you just don't right hook them or dump them, coming from 5 car lengths back or something like that. So I don't have any problem with what Denny did. Obviously, it didn't work out. He didn't execute it well. But I don't blame him for going for it, and I would want him to go for it every time, no matter who he was driving against there in that situation.
Yee.
Oh, we got time, brother. What's next?
I don't know.
The litmus pacer test is a test.
The litmus? The fitness gram?
Where did I get litmus?
NASCAR is changing the championship format? Question mark?
Shit. I'm going to change my brain format.
You need to.
Fuck off. You ain't much better.
That's not true.
You let a dog go free
I did
every
not
damn
let
day.
the dog got out.
You know what, fucking Ava, go out. You're going to get out, and I'm going to get pissed off about it at the end, but fuck it.
Next time, I'm not getting pissed off.
Fuck her all, fuck her boy.
I might just open the door and let her go.
Let her go.
Let her fly. And the tears fall down like rain.
Raindrops. I thought it was raindrops.
And if the sun comes out tomorrow, let her be.
I need to listen to that song again.
Oh, let her be.
Darius Rucker, not a
That's
great
Hootie.
singer. Same guy. Not a great singer, and he went to an awful college.
Go Cox. They won this weekend.
They did. Clemson snuck out a win on their bye week. It was close, won by a field goal. But yeah, NASCAR is just seriously thinking about changing the playoff format. Riley, what do you think about it?
I believe it when I see it. I do think they're going to change it. I just don't know what they're going to change it to. The news this week is that they're considering going to the 36 race championship format, full season schedule, full season points, which would be amazing. Obviously, we've been vying for that since we started this podcast. Since before we started this podcast, we've been talking about NASCAR needs to go back to it. A lot of the fans that have been fans of NASCAR for a long time want that. A lot of the drivers that have been around for a long time want that. Some of them don't, which is fine. You don't have to agree on everything with everybody. But, I think that would be the most interesting way to and most fair way to determine the champion. And, like I said, I mean, we've hashed it out on this podcast several times. I mean, that's the way it should be done. That's the way it was always done. And I think that's the best way to do it. But with that being said, I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're considering it because a lot of fans want it. And a lot of drivers want it, but I don't think that they're actually going to make the decision. I can't see NASCAR pulling the trigger on changing it to that. There's the old saying, once you get the toothpaste out of the tube, you can't put it back in. And I just don't see them ever going away from some sort of playoff format now that they have one. And, like I said, even though I think it would be the best option, I can't see NASCAR making the decision to make that happen because there will be a very loud minority group of fans that hate it, and a very loud minority of drivers that will hate it. And, apparently Larry Mack will talk shit about it, and whatever that other girl that he's on that podcast with will hate it. And
Danielle Trotter?
yeah, it's people will hate it if they do it, and people will love it if they do it. And that's kind of one of those things that you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You're never going to make anybody happy. So in some way, you would think NASCAR would just make the best decision for them, because no matter what they do, they're going to piss some people off. If they don't go to the regular season format, they're going to piss you and I off. They're going to piss Mark Martin off. They're going to piss off some of the older drivers. But if they do, they're going to piss off the rest of the fans. So, it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. I don't know what they're going to do. I do think they're going to change it, but I just can't see them going to the full 36 race championship.
Well, I think one thing's for certain. I think this one race winner take all is done. Just thank God. I think that there's no way they bring that back, which is a win in my book. Part of me would love to see a 36 race season, full season points format. Because I think with how close these cars are these days, I think it'd be a hell of a championship battle most years. You'll have that year or two where you might have a guy that wins by Martinsville at the end of the year. Going into Martinsville, he's already got the championship. People are like, well, what the fuck's the point of watching the racing then? It's still racing. You still watch some races, some good races at Martinsville and Homestead to see, who, if your favorite driver, if it's not whoever wins the championship, can win the races. It's still got something to watch. And your NASCAR, it's always a little different. I think the more we've gone away from the 36 race season, full point season, and gone to this playoff system, I think wins mean more to drivers than they do championships. Most of them. We've heard about it for years. Kevin Harvick. Hey, I won 9, 10 races this year. You didn't get the championship. I'd take these 9 or 10 wins over winning a championship, though. Denny Hamlin, same thing. I want to win races. Championships would be nice. Yes, of course, I want to win a championship, but I want to win races first. That mentality has changed because of how this playoff format has been skewed and how it's been shown the past decade to have tons of flaws, a lot of randomness, a lot of luckiness in how you crown a champion. That a lot of the drivers have been like, the championship's nice and all, but I just want to win races. I think winning races matter to me more than a championship. And if you go back to 36 race full points format, I think you would have a shift in that where drivers would love to win the championship again. Not that they didn't want to right now, but it would mean more to them because it's more difficult to do that. To win a championship, 36 races, full season, you got to execute from race 1 to race 36. And sure, you're going to have some bad races here and there. So are other people. You gotta fight back, rebound, and get the best you can do, or get the best finish you can week in and week out, and try to keep gaining points and keep, getting up that board, and see if you have a chance late in the season. I think that's way more intriguing and way more credibility wise to win if you do it that way from what we do now. But another part of me would like to see another 10 race chase format where it's 10 races, winner, whoever has the most points in those 10 races wins. You want to throw playoff points in there, that's fine. Take the top 10 in points and get 2 wild cards with the most wins. I would love that. I would not be mad at all about that. If you're scared that we will have a blowout champion here and there and it might turn people off or whatever, do the 10 race chase for the cup like we did back in the day. Have playoff points count towards every account. Don't ever lose it. Give more points to the winner of a race and give more points to the winner of the regular season before the chase starts. Instead of 15, give them 25, or whatever, to make the regular season mean even more. And then we'll start from there, and then we'll go 10 races. You can have a bad race or two if you're the regular season champion with 3 wins and 25 extra playoff points. Yeah, you're sitting pretty good there if you have a bad race. It's okay or 2. But if you continue to struggle and you continue to just fall apart, you're eventually going to get passed by guys that get hot or, whatever, that had a rough up and down year, but they get on the playoffs and they get hot and they kind of win some races and have some good finishes. And next thing you know, it's right there. And then next thing you know, it's tight. I'm good with either one of those. I just hate this bullshit what we got right now. It's just too much randomness into it. It's too much luck of the draw. It's too much favoritism towards one team at the championship race. If they get in, we've seen it in the next-gen car. They have not lost yet. 2022, Logano. 2023, Blaney. And 2024, Logano. Guess what? If Blaney gets into the championship for this year, Phoenix, he probably going to win it again. And listen here, I will be happy about that. But it doesn't make it right.
Well, here's a question.
It doesn't make it right because it gives the rest of the field no real chance because they're just that good at that track.
If it's the 22 and the 12 that make it in, good luck because you're not going to beat both of them.
Yeah.
You're not going to beat both of them. But
even when they had them last year, they had both of them in there. They finished first and second.
That's what I'm saying. You're not going to. You might beat one. One might have a bad day, but both of them aren't. This is the 20. And again, preface this by saying I get it. You would race differently. The finishes of these races might be a little different if the championship format was different. But just looking at the points right now, this was edited. This was posted 9 hours ago. So based on the race at Kansas, this is what the points would look like today if it was a Winston Cup era point system that we had in NASCAR. Christopher Bell would be your point series or your championship leader in points with 4,177. That doesn't really mean a ton to anybody. However, Chase Briscoe would be right behind him, 11 points behind him, 41.66. Then you'd go to third with Chase Elliott. He'd have 41.17, and William Byron at 40.30. So you would have, essentially, William Byron would have some work to do. But with 5 races left, that is a margin that you could make up. And
you got to think
140 points you could make up in 4 races.
Yeah, because
it'd be tough, but you could do it.
Yeah, because you think the way they like, if you pass somebody back in the day, it's 4 points.
Yeah.
Not a point. So 160. That's less than a full race.
Not to mention,
I think 180
5 points for leading the lap.
Used to be, yeah.
You get a point now for having the fastest lap. You used to get 5 points for leading the most laps. I'm sure they would still have stage points, even if they went back to the full race or full season points system.
Which I'm fine with.
Which I'm good with as well.
I'm good with
but
that.
right now, you'd have 3 drivers within 60 points of one another with 5 races to go. But somehow, people think that the Winston Cup format wasn't competitive and it was always determined, you know who was going to be the champion in fucking July. That's just not the way it worked. It never worked that way. You would have a couple years where the guy would win the championship at Rockingham the week before they went to Homestead.
Jeff Gordon did that
Or
one time.
maybe you would go, the guy had to start the race at Atlanta or Homestead and he'd win the championship. But it's rare. I mean, you went into, what year was it, 1992? They went into Atlanta with 7 drivers that could win the championship?
Yeah, but that's
That's
was
rare.
an outlier.
It's an outlier, but that can happen. It can happen. And it can happen a lot more today than it could back in the day because of how close this field is and how hard it is to be dominant.
I don't know for a fact, but now this year, last year's Winston Cup format was super close. If they'd have went the Winston Cup points, I get it. Like you said, they'd race differently. It'd be different. But just taking consideration of what we've seen, this year's points format championship between Winston Cup is pretty damn close. Last year's was really close. I think 2023's was really close. 2022, I think Chase Elliott kind of ran away with it, but he had a bad race at the end of the end that he wrecked at Phoenix in the championship 4. So I don't know how that would have changed things.
Yeah.
But he kind of ran away with it in 2022. That's the only year of this car that we've kind of seen a champion
There was
in the
a
Winston
year
Cup format
that-
that kind of ran away with it.
The year in there where, what year was it that Kyle was real dominant? 22?
21.
21? I mean, it probably would have been Kyle.
Oh, yeah, he would have. Yeah.
And then the year before that was the Hamlin Harvick year.
Yeah.
That probably would have been one of them, but that would have been a really good battle to see them.
Yeah.
Both of them with 10 wins, going down to the championship at the end. I think it makes it more interesting.
And you have more storylines throughout the season instead of trying to fabricate these storylines for a week or two with Denny Hamlin and with Ty Gibbs, and then Denny Hamlin and 2311. You'd have these battles throughout the year because they're so close on points that you could build throughout the whole season.
Yep.
You grab more fans from outside in. I mean, the Max Verstappen Lewis Hamilton battle from 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't care about F1. I watched that last race.
Yeah.
Because I was so intrigued by it.
Which
because
thank
of that
God Max
rivalry.
won it, but they fucked Lewis on that. But
Yeah.
but anyway, the thing that I hate the most about this championship format, I know you hate the one race champion at the end. I dislike that as well. But the worst part of it to me is you win the Daytona 500, and the first thing they ask you about is you're in the playoffs. I don't give a fuck about the playoffs. I just won the second, if not the most important race in America, the second most important race in America. I just won it. And you're asking me about the fucking playoffs. I don't give a
September.
fuck. I don't give a fuck about the playoffs. It's February fucking 17th. I just won the Daytona 500, a race that Richard Petty won, a race that Dale Earnhardt took forever to win, a race that Darrell Waltrip.
Darrell Wallace?
Yeah, Darrell Waltrip took forever to win. A race that some of the greatest of all time never won. And you're asking me about a fucking championship that's not going to be decided for 9 months, 10 months. I don't give a fuck about the playoffs when I'm at Daytona. I don't give a fuck about the playoffs when I'm in the Southern 500. I don't give a fuck about the playoffs at the Brickyard 400. I do not care. The race is more important than the playoffs. But it will never be with the playoffs working the way they work now. If you bring back the Winston Cup format, the race will be more important than the championship until the championship happens.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. The races should always be more important than the full season until the full season is decided.
Yeah. And that's I think where we have tried so hard this past decade to be just like stick and ball sports. Got a playoff system. Got a win and you're in. Got an elimination format like the playoffs do in stick and ball sports. The problem is you don't play everybody every week. So you can't manufacture these things. I mean, we have for now a decade, but you can't do it and consistently keep fans because they're gonna get tired of it. They have gotten. I guarantee you, I have gotten tired of seeing Kyle Larson last year dominate the season, and he didn't even make it to the championship four. Didn't have a chance to win a championship at Phoenix when he should have.
Yep.
2023. Denny Hamlin, William Byron should have probably won the championship that year. They didn't. Ryan Blaney did. Hey, I was happy for it, but he didn't deserve it. Or he didn't deserve it. He wasn't the best driver all year. He got hot in the playoffs and won it fair and square. And I love YRB. Don't get mad at me, Ryan Blaney, if you ever hear this. But you were not the best driver throughout the season, and you have to put some legitimacy back in this sport because you can't do it like stick and ball sports. It's just too different. It's too different to try to do what stick and ball sports do. Because fucking when the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday, they weren't talking about the playoffs yet. But if it was in NASCAR terms, they'd be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think
in a similar way.
Yeah, I think another thing that people don't think about is like if. Damn, I just fucking brain quit working there for a second.
Train went off the tracks.
Yeah, it did. It's completely gone. What the fuck was I saying? I had it. It was a great point too. I was going to change everybody's mind.
It's always like that.
The one thing that a lot of these sports leagues are doing and that they're worried about is parity. And you can look at the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, NASCAR, like all the major sports leagues. They're very concerned about parity. They want more teams competitive, which on paper is a good thing. But when in practice, it's not. And you can look at the NBA. The NBA has the most parity of any of the major sports in America. I mean, I don't think there's been a repeat champion in the past 10 years.
I think, no, the last time we had a repeat champion was the Warriors.
I'm not talking back to back. I'm talking about, I think.
So I'm saying Warriors won in 17 and 18.
Well, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying, okay, maybe for the past 6, maybe 7 years, there hasn't been a champion that has won more than once.
Yeah, because the Raptors won in 19, the Lakers won in the COVID.
That doesn't count.
The Bucks won in 21. Who won 22? No, not Boston. Oh, Golden State won again. Denver won 23. Boston won 24. OKC won 25.
Exactly. And it's probably the least popular league in America right now. I think it's probably less popular than the
baseball.
NHL.
I think baseball's past them.
The MLB playoffs are. I love October when it comes. I hadn't watched a baseball game all year. I watched the Yankees Red Sox last night.
Who won?
Boston.
Let's go. I just hate the Yankees.
But what I'm saying is all these leagues are concerned about parity, but parity actually ruins your sport. You need dominance. Mm-hmm. You need a team to hate. When was the NBA the most popular?
The Lakers.
When it was the Lakers winning 3 championships in a row. When it was the Golden State Warriors winning a bunch. When it was the Heat. Mm-hmm. When it was, you had these super teams that were dominant. You had somebody to root for and you had somebody to root against. When was NASCAR becoming the most popular? When you had Jimmy Johnson, when you had Dale Earnhardt.
Well, that's the problem, though. I think Jimmy Johnson had got to a point where it got too much. You don't want too much dominance.
Richard Petty did it. Dale Earnhardt did it. Now, they didn't win 7. They didn't win 7 in a row, but they won 7.
Yeah. Jeff Gordon won 4 out of 7.
Dominance is a good thing. It keeps the fans of that driver engaged, and it keeps the fans of other drivers engaged because they want to see if their guy's going to go out and beat them.
Yeah.
And every sport has always had dominance.
And you could argue right now that Penske is dominating right now the championships.
Yeah, but they're not dominating races.
It's a different type of dominance.
How many wins does Penske have this year? 3? 4?
4. Yeah, 4.
And 5 if you count Josh Berry?
Yeah.
So, but there's not a dominant driver. There's not a dominant team. There's not a dominant manufacturer because the Chevrolets and the Toyotas, I think the Chevys have one more win now because of Chase Elliott this weekend. But like, there's no dominance. There's no team to hate. There's no team that you can look at and be like, that's the team we have to go out and beat every week. There's not a team that's winning championships. Granted, Penske has won the last 3, but they haven't deserved to win the last 3. And I think that the pursuit of parity has, I wouldn't say ruined the product, but kind of put a damper on it, because there's not that team to hate. There's not that team to show up and try to be better than every week. It's just show up and who knows?
Yeah.
And we don't know who's going to win the championship, which is, on paper a good thing, but in practice, it's not. And we'll talk about it in RTT. I think the numbers for TV viewership are showing that.
Could be. And that's the last thing I'll say. Like, this championship format right now is flawed. You can go and win a race, the first race of each round. You can take half the playoffs off, more than half the playoffs off. It's the fucking playoffs. Like, you can't. NFL, you win the wild card round because you won the wild card round. Don't mean you can fuck off in the divisional round. You got to win that. You got to win the divisional round too to make it to the conference championship round. It's kind of the same thing here. Like Ryan Blaney, my 2 guys, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott. They've won the first 2 races of the round of 12. That's awesome, great. But this weekend at the Roval, I don't give a fuck what happens. They don't really care other than trying to get more playoff points. They obviously want to win the race and get a trophy at the end of the day. But really, it doesn't really matter that much to them. They're already in the round of 8. I'm a fan of both those guys. I'm just cheering against Toyota this weekend, to be honest with you. It's 5. We're halfway through the playoffs after this. We'll be more than halfway through the playoffs after this race. This weekend. And this race should matter for Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney. When Ryan Blaney blew a tire going into practice Saturday, that should have been a huge deal. Oh, man, last week's winner, he's going to have to start from the back. He's got a 10-point lead in the championship over, if we were in a 36-race format, I'm just making numbers up at this point. Or if he's like 50 points behind whoever, Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, whatever. He gained points last week, but he's got to rebound this week. Last week don't mean shit now. And it doesn't unless it's the last race of that round. You win the race of the last round, you're advanced to the next round, and it kind of starts all over. You got to win the next race. But for Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, as a fan of them, I want them to go out there and do well. I hope one of them wins the race on Sunday. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because they're already advanced to the round of 8. So, and that's my problem. Like, you're in the playoffs and you have guys that take races off because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to them. I mean, next week at Las Vegas, if you have a playoff guy win that race, they go off and fuck off at Talladega and Martinsville. It doesn't mean nothing. Really, at that point, it doesn't mean anything because you can't take your playoff points into Phoenix. So we saw this last year with Joe Logano. He won at Las Vegas on fuel strategy last year. At Homestead, he was fucking terrible because it didn't matter to them. And at Martinsville, he was just okay. Because there's no incentive for him to continue to try to run good because he's already advanced to the championship round. I hate that. That's how this format is. And if you have a 10-race playoff where no eliminations, none of that shit, you carry all those points from regular season into the playoffs, and you take all of it all the way into Homestead. Through Homestead. You get rewarded for how good you've done throughout the year, but you also have to execute at the end of the year as well. That matters. That's why I like the 36-race playoff or 36-race full season format. I will not be mad at it at all. But also you gotta have an entertainment factor to it. And I think the 10 races, go out there and do what you can, but you're not guaranteed anything. You have to execute. You have one mulligan probably if you're a top 5 in points. Other than that, you better be on it the last 10 races. I think that says something as well. So I'd be okay with either one of them, as long as you get rid of this winning you're in shit and you get rid of the championship round one race. I ultimately think it will not be a 36 race playoff. I think it'll be a still elimination round, but it'll be a 3-race finale round next year. In my opinion, I think that's what they're going to do.
We'll see.
What's your prediction? What do you think they're
I
going to do?
think you're right. I think it'll probably still be a playoff with a multi-race championship round, but we all know the best decision is a 36-race schedule.
What about the 10-race thing? Old Chase.
It would be better than what we have, but it's not preferred.
All right. Well, hit that button for RTT.
RTT.
Ripping the topics.
Round of 8. Who's going to make it? Well, Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney are in already. All their wins the past 2 weeks. So they're safe. Then you got, pull up the points real quick if you don't mind for me. Then you got Kyle Larson at 54 above. He's got to start the race and not finish last. He's safe. Denny Hamlin plus 48, kind of the same thing. He's pretty safe. Christopher Bell plus 44. He's pretty safe. William Byron plus 40. He's safe for the most part. Then you get in the kind of the weeds. Chase Briscoe in 7th. He's only plus 21 to the cut line. Joe Logano is the last guy in on points at plus 13 to the cut line. Then you got Ross Chastain at minus 13. Then you got Bubba Wallace at minus 26. Tyler Reddick 11th, minus 29. And then Austin Cindric at the bottom at minus 48 points below the cut line. So obviously the must-win guys, I think, are Austin Cindric for sure. I'd probably say the 23-11 boys are also in probably must-win territory. 29 and 26 points is a lot to ask but it can happen. It can happen, but it's not likely. Then Ross Chastain, minus 13. The problem that Ross is going to deal with this weekend is the stage breaks, the stage flipping and stuff like that. So, obviously, it's going to be important for qualifying on Saturday to get really all Ross has to do is out-qualify 22 and stay out for the stage run the stages. Don't pit before the end of the stages. He'll gain some playoff points that way. And Logano, same thing. He needs to out-qualify the one to get ahead of him and to be in front of him for when the stage breaks come. Because I think they'll both stay out. They'll both get stage points unless something crazy happens. And then Briscoe, he's kind of just got to have a quiet day. He's only 8 points above Logano. Now, Briscoe is a better road course racer than Logano, and especially at this road course. Although Logano did get a top 10 here last year, but that's rare for Joey at this track. So I think it's going to come down to Briscoe, Logano, and Ross on points. Bubba's not the greatest road course racer he has had. He's gotten a lot better the past couple of years. I think that's because of Reddick and him driving a Toyota, and I think he'll be competitive. I think he'll run top 15 to top 20. I just don't know if he can run top 5 and he'll have to stay out on stage points too. It's according to how the other guys run. He might pit with the other guy if he's got a really good car. Same thing with Reddick. If they can win the race, they'll stay out, or they'll pit before the cautions and try to win the race that way. But obviously, Cindric's in must-win territory. He don't need to worry about stage points at all. He's got to go out there and win the race. And he's got his teammate that he would bump his teammate out at that point. So it'd be interesting how that dynamic works as well. But the top 6 are safe. I think Briscoe and Logano, that's kind of a race in itself. And then obviously Logano and Ross is a race in itself as well. So 22 is the main guy. If he has a bad race, it opens the door up for everybody. Unless they win, it wouldn't matter then. But Logano is the one that you need to look out for this weekend. According to how he runs, it's going to determine how these other guys handle these stage breaks and how they try to get up there, take points, or 22's way back there. I think we can get a whole bunch of stage points, be right there on them, and then we just got to pass them and pass some cars to the end and stuff like that. So it's going to be close. If this was Ross above Logano, I think it wouldn't be as interesting because I trust Ross more at road courses than I do Logano. But and then Reddick's the wild card. I think Reddick could win this race this weekend, but he might have to. I don't know if he can gain that many points on Logano. And if Briscoe has a bad day, William Byron and Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin, they could blow up, and it'd be really close between them. But I just don't see that happening. So I think it's going to be close. But I'm going to say that Ross sneaks in. I'm going to say he gets 13 points above Joey. I think he beats him by like 4 or 5 points at the end of the day. Now, that will determine if Tyler Reddick wins the race, because Reddick is one of my dark horses for this weekend. So if Reddick wins, it's a battle between Ross and Chase. And that's 21. Yeah, it's 21 points. So that gets a little sketchy there. So Reddick, I think he wins. Obviously, that creates chaos. But I think if he doesn't win and it's just come down on points, I think Ross will get the edge over Joey.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much right on everything there. I think Joey Logano's kind of the fulcrum here that we're going to have to watch to see how he gets with his stage points. He will not have a chance to win this race, in my opinion, so he's definitely going to flip stages, try to get stage points, and try to get a decent finish, which I think Ross will have to try to match because he's close enough. Maybe he outscores him a couple points in stage one, maybe he outscores him a couple points in stage two, and
6 points.
Yeah, brings it down about 6. And, if you outrun him by 6 positions at the end of the day, then you beat him. I don't think Joey's going to have a chance to win the race. Ross could. It depends on how qualifying goes. We'll see. I don't think Bubba will have a shot to win the race, so I'm not really confident in him. I think Reddick's going to be the guy, like you said, that has a chance to qualify well and win this race. Out of the guys that are under the cut line. So, we'll see how Reddick does. We'll see if he qualifies well, practices well. He's going to probably have to flip stages and try to win the race. So, Cindric, same thing. He's too far back. He can't make it on points, so he'll have to win. But I don't really trust him in the next-gen car on road courses. So, it's really going to come down to if Reddick wins, and the points battle between Ross and Joey if we don't have problems from Chase Briscoe or Byron or Bell or Hamlin. Because, like you said, barring, catastrophic failure, car fails on lap 2 and they finish last and the other guys get a ton of stage points and, finish second, those guys are going to be safe, but still mathematically they're all kind of not safe. So I think it'll be interesting. The problem is this race is going to suck, and there's not going to be a lot of attrition, in my opinion. So it's going to come down to whether or not Reddick wins and the points battle between Ross and Joey. So, we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to be honest with you, I'm picking chalk this week. I think the top 8 make it. I think Logano, Briscoe, Byron, Bell, Hamlin, Larson, Blaney, and Elliott are on to your round of 8. And the other guys are not.
They're on to Cancun.
Mm.
I got you. Well, the Xfinity race.
Did you pick who you got? I don't think you picked who you had going.
Yeah, I did. I said Ross is going to get Joey.
You think so?
Yeah. It's not an even year. But the Xfinity race on Saturday. So to be
Didn't watch it.
Fair, yeah. I didn't watch a ton of it. I was watching a lot of college football on Saturday. I had it on my tablet out here in the garage on trying to watch it. Brandon Jones won. Cutter Zillage, I think, finished second. But Brandon Jones seemed like he had the best car all day. Justin Allgaier was good. I think they had a bad strategy there late or something like that. They stayed out hoping for a caution, saving a set of tires, and that caution never came, so he kind of fell back. But it seemed like a pretty tame Kansas race. I think, one of them times where I think the Cup race outdid the Xfinity race from what I saw. Joe Gibbs Racing was really good. I think Taylor Gray was really good. Like I said, Connor Zillich was kind of off compared to what he's been doing, but he didn't win at Bristol a couple weeks ago. Finished, I think, 5th or 6th there. or 5th. Then he finished 2nd here this past weekend at Kansas. So he's still got the top 5 streak going. I think he's tied Sam Ard for the longest consecutive top 5 streak in Xfinity Series history. So that's cool there. I think he'll definitely break it this weekend at the Roval. He'll probably win the race, unless something crazy happens. But yeah, it's just kind of a tame Xfinity race for the playoffs. Like I said, one of the races where the Cup race outdid the Xfinity race. And congratulations to Brandon Jones. He's really good at Kansas. He's good at Kansas and Martinsville and Darlington. And those 3 tracks, Brandon Jones is a problem. But every other track, he's kind of mediocre at best. So that was a huge win for him. Locks himself into the round of 8 in the Xfinity Series. And, yeah, I mean, it's not a lot that, from what I saw, happened. So just pretty straightforward Xfinity race. And they go on the Roval this weekend where Connor Zillage will probably win. And we'll see how the points shake out from there. But, yeah, kind of a tame Xfinity race this weekend.
I'll take your word for it.
Well, Riley, we kind of spoke on this earlier about the championship thing, but the TV ratings have plummeted since the playoffs kind of started a couple weeks ago. I think the New Hampshire race last weekend was down like 20% or something. 1.9 watched the round of 12 opener last year at Kansas. I don't think it was like 1.3 watched it at New Hampshire last weekend, and I haven't seen the TV ratings for this past weekend's race at Kansas. But I'm sure it's not great either. But yeah, Riley, is this why they're changing the championship format? Because they think the championship format's the problem? Do they think just football is king and it's just, you can't compete with the NFL anymore, or no more? There's too much parity, or no standout personalities in the sport really anymore. Like, what's the reason behind these TV ratings kind of falling on its face here the past several weeks?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. I think the biggest factor is football. NFL's back, college football's back. So, a lot of fans that are kind of, I watch NASCAR because there's nothing else on during the summer, but when football comes on, football is more important. You've also got, Major League Baseball has a lot of, battles towards the end of the regular season, and then the playoffs start. Then you take into consideration the playoff format. A lot of people have problems with. There's not a huge name in NASCAR really right now other than Chase Elliott, which he's nowhere near, some of the more popular guys in the past as far as name value goes. So I think it's just a combination of things, and NASCAR is definitely trying to fix it. I don't know if they can. And, that's... I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing. Now, granted, for NASCAR it is, because they're a business. They're trying to make money. They want more fans. They want more people watching their sport. They want bigger TV deals. And if they don't have the viewership, then they're not going to get that. But, it might be that it's a good thing in the long run that NASCAR isn't overinflated and doesn't have a overinflated evaluation of themselves, so they can fix the problem with their sport and stop trying to cater to people that don't actually care about it, and start actually trying to actually please the people that have always been there and that have always cared. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the case, but the TV ratings being down don't affect me at all, because I'm going to watch. Whether or not NASCAR is the most popular sport in America, or I'm the only one watching. I'm still going to be watching. So, you know, I don't really know if NASCAR has a fix for it, if it can be fixed, or maybe people just are that don't care about NASCAR are just not going to watch. So, we'll see if changing the playoff format next year helps this time of year. But I think there's more problems outside of NASCAR's control that you're never going to beat the NFL on Sundays. It's just not going to happen. So, I think NASCAR will try to fix it, but I don't know if there is a fix for it.
Yeah, I think this just comes down to, like I said, the NFL's back. Major League Baseball had the end of the regular season, playoff implications, stuff like that. People watching their diehard baseball teams, and NASCAR going to a track past, other than Darlington and Bristol, I guess, Gateway, New Hampshire. Nobody really cares about those races as being, must-watch, races and stuff. So, I think also the lawsuit thing that's going on still, it's kind of in the back of people's minds of just like, we'll see how I'm watching a race that might not even, that looks completely different compared to next year based off how the lawsuit goes and stuff like that. And I think that has a little bit of to do with it as well, and just people kind of just being casuals, people watching it, like you said, throughout the late spring and summer, that because there was nothing else really on other than regular season baseball. And on Sundays it's once a week, baseball's 5-6 times a week, so hey, I'll watch a NASCAR race this weekend at Michigan or whatever. And I also think the way this TV contract's been kind of laid out this year, with so many places to go to have to watch the racing, I think it hurts. We've seen the Xfinity ratings be up this year compared to previous years, and that could be because the racing's really good in the Xfinity Series for the most part. It could be also that they're on the same channel every week, on the same time about every week. You know where to look for the Xfinity Series now, the CW. And, NASCAR, you've had Fox, you've had FS1, you've had Amazon Prime, you've had TNT, you've had NBC, you've had USA, and you've had True TV to watch practice and qualifying. Like, that's 7 different channels. And that can be a lot to NASCAR is one of the older fan bases in the country, and you got to bounce back and forth to try to find the race. People just be like, fuck it, I'm not going to watch it this weekend. And that's kind of a lazy way to be an excuse on not to watch a race. Like, if it was fucking on a, channel 120 where you had to put a 10-digit passcode in and then log in and get a face recognition and, then give out damn security questions to watch the race. That's frustrating, but fucking I'd do it. If you're diehard NASCAR fans, you'll watch it no matter what channel or however you have to do to watch the races. But a lot of these fans are just not the same way, We've seen this, like I said, from the personalities not being what it was, the cars kind of sucking at a lot of tracks, to the championship format, people not liking that. Just, watch it for regular season and just be like, all right, whatever. I might tune in the championship race to see who wins the championship, but the playoffs, I hate it so much, I'm not going to watch it. That could be it. Boycotting the playoffs, and hey, changes are coming, seems like it. So what they're doing is working, I guess, in our favor for us diehards, for the casual fans to be like, we hate this playoff format. We're not going to watch it until they change it. That could be a good thing in the end. So I think it's a combination of all those things, like you said. And like I said, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm going to watch it every week, no matter who's watching and who ain't, what channel it's on or whatever. If it's damn streamed on Facebook, I'm going to watch it. If it's streamed on damn fucking Pornhub, I'll watch it. I don't care. I mean, I'll watch it whatever they do. So I think it's just more, there's the diehards in NASCAR have died down over the years because of how NASCAR has kind of ran the sport. You have less diehards like me and you have more casuals that are willing to take a week or two off, or willing to be like, yeah, fuck it, I don't need to watch NASCAR this week. And now that you put the NFL on, you put the MLB playoffs on against that, they're really not going to watch because they got other stuff to watch now instead of having nothing to do on a Sunday in the summertime. So I think it's all that stuff, and hopefully we'll get some of the diehard fans back. If we change the playoffs, if we can get some more personalities, get some more stories going throughout the season instead of just having storylines inside the playoffs where it's really quick and then it's gone and then the season's over. You don't have the storylines to build up throughout the season like you can have in a full season format or full season plus a 10-race playoff where it's 10 races all go out. Whoever has the most points at the end of the 10 races, you can build storylines throughout that. It's hard to build storylines and keep people entertained with a casual fan base if you don't have the storylines and you have the NFL going against you and all that stuff. So you got a lot going against them. Hopefully you can get better if they change some stuff up, and I think they realize that. That's why they're about to change the playoffs up. So, it sucks for NASCAR, but like I said, at the end of the day, it don't really matter to us. And we've told you what to do, and I think it'll help. Hopefully it will help once they change the playoff format. Next in RTT, NASCAR parts ways with a race director. A weird time to do it in the playoffs, but Jusson Hamilton, NASCAR kind of parted ways on one of their two race directors last week. Weird timing. Said it was based off performance. It was
Bullshit.
It's kind of both ways agreeing to mutually part ways. You have a lot of that sort of thing. Instead of saying, coach is fired, they'll be like, we just parted ways. It just didn't work out. Kind of like Rodney Childers and Spire earlier in the year. I guess parted ways. That one's a little bit more believable that they just parted ways. It's off differences because we only had like 8 races for Rodney and Spire, but he had been the race director since September of 2022, I believe. And obviously, NASCAR officiating has not been the best the past 5, 6, 7 years in the sport. And Jusson was, one of the two guys that would hit that button to say if there's a caution on or hit if there's going to be a caution or not. It's hard for me to believe that NASCAR and Jusson just kind of parted ways in the middle of the playoffs. Like, why couldn't you wait 5 or 6 more races to do this? That makes more sense. It makes more of an easier transition. It makes more sense to do it then. I think it does have something to do with performance, whether what they say or not. And now it's going to be I forgot who they said we were going to replace him, but they have another guy that's been there with him the past several years. Now they're going to have a new guy. Tim Berman, that's right. To replace him up at that race director spot. This is a weird decision. Like I said, it's got to be based off performance, whether NASCAR says it or not. I think they've realized over the past several years that they've kind of got some callers wrong in the past. You think about Indy last year. Wow, damn, Ryan Preece sitting on the backstretch at Indy, knowing he wasn't going to move. Waited until Kyle Larson got to the white flag and got into turn 1 before they threw the caution. You can think about it in the duels earlier in the year where Eric Jones was battling, I forgot who it was, coming to the checkered flag, and they throw the caution right before they get to the checkered flag. The race is going to be over in 2 seconds anyways. Didn't make any sense there. They've had a whole bunch of other controversial calls the past several years that have really made NASCAR fans like us scratch our heads and wondering what the fuck are they doing up there in the tower. And I think it's just a change to try to get ahead of next year, trying to give Tim Berman that's the one thing I kind of understand by this move, try to give Tim Berman some experience before he gets into the full-on grind next year, doing it throughout the year next year. So that's the one thing I kind of understand him with. But in the playoffs, you just want consistency. And if Tim Berman's going to come up there and bring consistency, that's what I want, and that's a good decision. Also, we don't know when Jusson Hamilton hit what button at what track during all these crazy events. I'm sure you could probably dig deep enough and try to find it, but definitely a weird time to do it. But I think it's based off performance. I think it's based off NASCAR just wanting to put somebody else up there and give them a little bit more experience going into next year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what the decision-making process was on this. I think NASCAR officiating has kind of sucked for the past 5-ish years, like you said. Whether that
Since David Hoots left.
whether that was just Jason's fault or whoever's. From what I understand, he had a lot of input on schedules and expansion and stuff like that. Outside of the race day experience. For them to say it's not performance-based doesn't make a ton of sense, because if somebody's doing good at their job, you're probably not going to ask them to not do their job anymore.
Yeah.
If you like what they're doing. And if it was a mutual parting of ways, it's not going to be mutual if you want them to stay. And if they're doing a good job, you'd want them to stay. So, obviously, it is performance-based. They don't like something that he was doing, whether that be on the race day or behind the scenes. So, I don't know. I don't know what their plan is going forward. Whether they're just going to have one race director going forward, if they're going to hire another person. I don't know, but it needs to be better. We've had several incidents in the past few years where it's been a kind of a black eye on the sport because of bad decisions made by race control. We can look at rain in Turn 1 at Daytona a couple years ago. We can look at rain at Homestead at New Hampshire. We can look at throwing cautions for Ryan Blaney at Texas in the All-Star race. There's 100 of them that you can look back on that were
Chase Elliott at the Roval with his door bumper
hanging off.
Him.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of bad decisions that have been made by race control, and whether that was Jason's fault or not, I don't know. But for them to say that it's not performance-based doesn't make a ton of sense, because, like I said, if they liked what he was doing, he'd still be there.
One quick note, I didn't put this in the RTT list, but Chevy said they got their NASCAR body for 2026. It'll not be the Z01 Camaro for next year. Any thoughts on that?
Don't give a fuck. Fuck Chevrolet.
I hope it ain't hope it ain't no damn Chevy Cruze out there.
They're gonna bring a Tahoe.
Bring the damn Silverado. Bring the trucks in the Cup Series.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll work. But I've always liked the Camaro in the Cup Series, the sports car, and they discontinued the street version of the Camaro a couple years ago, and so they'd continue to run the Camaro in the Cup Series. Then a fucking year later, they're like, "Yeah, we're not running Camaro anymore." I kind of saw that one coming. Be interesting to see what they bring back. Do they bring back the Impala? What does that look like? It's going to be a different change for Chevy next year. I will say this: I think they'll have. They might struggle out the gate next year a little bit with this new body. We've seen it in the past with manufacturers switching, body types, stuff like that, having a little bit of trouble. Other than Toyota, I think 2 years ago or whatever it was, they won like 3 out of the first 5 races with a new body. But most of the time, it takes a minute for the. We saw in 2018 with the Chevys when they went from the Impala to the Camaro. They sucked all year for the most part. Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson were the only 2 guys that were worth a damn that year. So Kyle Larson at Chip Ganassi and Chase Elliott at Hendrick. So I think it's going to be definitely a little bit of a transition for Chevy next year. You might not see them get off to a hot start like they have the past several years, based off how their body. It just takes off how much time it takes for them to get used to that new body. But I guess I'm predicting they go back to the Impala. I don't know. Do you have a prediction on what it's going to be?
I mean, it'd have to be. I mean, I can't think of another.
Monte Carlo?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It'll probably be the Impala, but it really doesn't matter. They're not stock cars anymore anyway, so they could call it the fucking Chevrolet Mustang for all I give a fuck, because it's not a real car, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, next gen era I think is definitely dumbed down it and made it easier for them to do all this stuff. So we'll see. But hit that button for Attaboy.
Attaboy.
Attaboy. My Attaboy from this past weekend at Kansas. I mean, duh, give me Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott is not known for great restarts. I mean, we look back earlier in the season, midway through the season, he was one of the worst on restarts. And to be fair, the second to last caution, I think it was when Zane Smith rode the wall there, he had lost positions on 4 tires to his teammate William Byron and a couple other guys because Byron threw it on the outside of him 3 wide, and he fell back from like 7th to 10th. And I was like, what the fuck, Chase? Like, what are you doing? Like, come on, man. You have no chance to win this race now. Sure enough, I'm glad I was wrong. Next restart, he gets on it. He does the same thing back to William Byron, makes it 3 wide, almost gets Denny Hamlin down the back stretch, has to push him along, gets a good run off, goes into 3 and 4, passes a couple more cars. Next thing you know, the Bubba Wallace and Christopher Bell incident, he's right there in 5th, 6th. He's got a chance, baby. And obviously I know Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin getting together gave him the opportunity to win that race, but even if he doesn't win that race, he comes back to finish 3rd from 10th on the restart. That is very difficult to do in this car, especially with Chase Elliott knowing he's not the best restarter in the Cup Series. But they put 4 freshies on that thing. Alan Gustafson looked like the strategy wasn't going to work, and it actually worked out at the end. So I shit on him a lot. I'm going to give credit to Alan when he does well. He made a good call there at the end, putting 4 on Chase, allowed him to go more on the offensive side there and have a little bit more grip than those Toyotas at the end of the race, and they were able to pass Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, which allowed him to be in position to take advantage of the Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin incident there in turn 3 and 4. So Chase Elliott drove his ass off, executed that restart to a T. We rarely have ever seen that from Chase Elliott. Here recently, you see it back in the day in the Xfinity Series. He won his first or second career race at Darlington, beating a lot of good Cup guys like Matt Kenseth and Kyle Busch, Elliott Sadler, stuff like that. Back in the day in his rookie year, restarting 6th or 8th on a restart at Darlington and won it in a very similar way as well. So Chase Elliott going back to his old roots there. I think the mustache had something to do with it. I love that mustache from Chase. Needs to keep rocking that thing. He don't like it. He's not a fan of it, but hey, you keep on winning races and you keep on running good. Keep that motherfucking thing because it might be a little more aerodynamic speed in that mustache or something. So just a great restart. Great day. They were fast all day. Led some laps. Got some good stage points, and then took advantage of Toyota's getting in their own way at the end. So, attaboy, Chase Elliott, Alan Gustafson, and the whole 9 team needed a win to show that they're a true championship contender, and they did. Not necessarily they deserve to win that race, but they put themselves in position to have a chance, and that's all you can ask for. So, Chase Elliott, Alan Gustafson, 9 team, attaboy.
Yeah, I'm going to give mine to Todd Gilliland. I think he finished 12th, which, for that team's really good. They've been fucking awful all year. I mean, I remember at one point during the race you were talking shit about FRM and how bad they are other than Zane Smith. And Zane would have had a good finish, too. If
He's running like edge to top 10 all day.
Yeah, if he didn't flip his dick off.
What you know about edge?
A lot.
On this day?
Yeah, I see clearly. But, I
think... I can't see shit!
Yeah, but Todd was running like 30th when you made that comment. And for him to come back, battle back, finish 12th, obviously had some help, with some cautions and stuff that helped him out. But that team's been really, really struggling this year. They've been really disappointing. I was expecting them to be a lot better than they were. But for them to come back and finish top 15 with a car that probably didn't deserve to be up there and a day that was as bad as they were having is really impressive. Honorable mentions, Shane Van Gisbergen running 10th after having a penalty to start the race, being a lap down. And he's had really two really good races back-to-back on ovals. So Brad Keselowski as well had a bad day. I think you're probably going to talk about him in the next segment. So Just some guys that were running it back most of the day got some good finishes. So, attaboy to those folks.
Hit that button for you can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You cannot do that.
Ava Embree.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I should give it to my dog for sure.
This is a NASCAR podcast.
I'm going to give mine to...
Kentucky's quarterback. What the fuck was he doing?
Hey, look good to me. I'm going to give mine to Chris Buescher. It's been a while since I've given it to him. Just got awful on restarts all day. Always seem to pick the worst line. Towards those last couple cautions, he was running right there with Chase Elliott. They came out on pit road together. They were restarting together. And then just one went backwards and one went on to win the race. And I don't think Chase Elliott's car was any better than Chris's. I don't think Chase Elliott's, quantifiably that much better of a race car driver than Chris Buescher. But obviously he is because, they were right beside each other and then they weren't. And that's just very disappointing to see whenever when you have a guy that you're running next to and he goes on to win the race and you drop 10 positions and finish fucking 15th when you ran in the top 10 all day. It's just super disappointing. It's just been that kind of year for RFK in general. Whenever they have, top 10 speed, they never finish top 10. And, somebody will luck into the top 10 like Brad when he probably should have finished 30th. So very disappointed to see Chris Buescher finish 15th. He had a way better car than that. Like I said, was running with Chase and might have had a chance to win the race if he didn't suck on restarts. So just awful, really disappointing, and ready for 2026.
I can tell. Honorable mention, you can't do that. You mentioned him a minute ago. Brad Keselowski and team, again, remember earlier in the year at Pocono, they're leading the race. They pit under caution, but under a pit road closed. Caused him to lose all track position. I think he had a pretty good car that day. Obviously, he was leading the race at that time. This weekend, they got the lucky dog. They go down there and they pit twice, but they fuel the car twice, which you can't do that. So he had to give his lap back and he had to fight for the lucky dog yet again. Ultimately, he got it back and got a good finish. Finished 8th in the race at the end of the day. But you can't do that is John Nemechek. Just going in there 3 and 4 and just bulldozing the 38 of Zane Smith. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. I haven't seen that maneuver work ever. He's right on him, and then he ducks a little bit below, but he doesn't really. Car doesn't turn, or he doesn't drive it right, and then he just drives right into the side of Zane Smith, and Zane goes up there and does a Casey Kane 2010 at Bristol. Ironically enough, that was a 38 car as well in the Xfinity Series back in the day. Casey Kane was driving the 38 Toyota Great Clips.
Nationwide Series.
Nationwide Series, whatever. Kyle Busch won that. That was when Kyle and Brad went back and forth, and Kyle dumped Brad. What'd you say? You can remember shit like this, but I can't remember what the fuck I had for dinner 2 days ago. It's weird. But, yeah, so 38 car up on its side, riding the wall, riding the high line the wrong way.
Yeah.
He was riding the high line the wrong way for sure. And just caused a big wreck. Josh Berry. And then he comes back down the track and clips Josh Berry. Josh Berry hits a fuck ton into the outside wall and himself. Just John Hunter again driving over his head. I don't know what he had a terrible car all day, and then he goes in there in a restart and just drives like a fucking idiot. We have known him to do this before. He did it yet again. Zane Smith's one of my dark horse picks for Kansas. He was running top 10, top 12 all day long. It looked good for me, and then John Nemechek says, "Hold my beer," and does that stupid shit to Zane. Glad Zane's okay. He took a couple nasty tumbles. Coming back down the bank in there. Glad Zane's okay. Zane was frustrated because he knew he had a pretty good car, and he's frustrated because he just got wrecked for no fucking reason by the 42 there. So Yeah, John Hunter Nemechek just doing John Hunter Nemechek things. Toyota's fucking me yet again. Now, luckily at the end of the race they gave it back to me, but yeah, just John Hunter Nemechek just doing stupid shit. So you can't do that, John Hunter Nemechek. But
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah. Well, got the Charlotte Roval this weekend. Yippee.
Yep.
Fuck this track. Fuck this race. This race is going to suck.
You gonna go to it?
No.
I can't. I gotta work. Thank God.
I wish I did have to work. But, yeah, I mean, it's... we've been saying for years that they need to put it back on the oval. Seems like they're not ever going to do that. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to be follow the leader. This race has been really bad since they've gone to this next-gen car. Just not a lot of passing, not a lot of opportunity to work your way up through the field. So it's going to be pretty boring. Qualifying is going to be super important. It's going to be the usual suspects on road courses that you see up towards the front, which might be a good thing for me. Chris might have a good day, even though this is probably his worst road course. But I don't expect Preece or Brad to be very good here. Probably going to be won by a playoff guy. I look at William Byron, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell. Those type of guys will probably be pretty good. The 45 will be decent in my opinion. Chase Elliott. The regular road course guys will be good, and I think it'll be the playoff guys that are competitive. Obviously, you've got Shane Van Gisbergen. That's going to be a problem. AJ Allmendinger as well from outside of the playoffs that I think will be good. Chris Buescher, we'll see. Michael McDowell. There might be a guy or two from outside the playoffs that are very competitive, but I think for the most part, top 10 is going to be taken up by playoff guys.
Yeah. This race, last year's race, when they changed the the turn there, going back onto the regular track, it seemed like it made it a little bit more racy. So I'm hoping this year it can do the same. But again, I'm not expecting a great race out of here. It's going to come down to restarts. If you get cautions late in the race, you'll have some craziness on the restarts. But other than that, you're just looking at who's going to flip the stages, and who's going to go for the win, and who's going to take stage points, try to gain the most amount of points they can, and then try to survive at the end of the race. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. And it's unfortunate because I think a fall Charlotte race on the oval here, last race of the round of 12, would be a banger. I think it would be amazing. I can't believe NASCAR cannot realize that. But apparently they don't. And so, pit road, of course, when you pit, we've seen the 11 car get hit a couple times with bad pit stops that hurt them. The 5 car, the 23 car, the 20 car. Over the past several weeks, 45 having some bad pit stops here and there that's cost them a chances to have race-winning opportunities. And I think this week will be the same. You got to deal with the 88 car, Shane Van Gisbergen. He's probably the favorite. He should be. Nobody's been on a road course since Coda, so he's going to be the favorite. I think you got some playoff guys like Chase Elliott. They can just go for broke here. Don't have to worry about stage points or nothing. They go for the win. And he'll be a problem. AJ Allmendinger's been good at this track one or 2 years ago, so he'll be a problem as well. So it's going to come down to execution. And if you get a late race caution, good luck. You better be on the first couple of rows, and you better hope nobody fucking Austin Dillon's you going into a corner and can't. It's easy to make a mistake going into that little S section on the back stretch. I've seen a lot of people make mistakes there in the past. Can't do that here, so I think it's going to be won by a guy that you're not going to be surprised of winning, but we'll see.
Yeah, obvious pick. Give me Shane. Give me Shane. Give me Shane. Won last week. That's going to help out. Give me Shane this week. Hopefully give me 2 more points and put me right back in this battle.
Whoops. Got the hiccups again.
Yep.
My pick for this weekend, man, I want to pick Chris. I really do.
Please do.
But I don't trust him.
Me either.
I'm going to go with the heartfelt pick here. This guy has gone through a lot the past week. We heard about his son last weekend, having heart problems at Kansas. Had a good finish at the end of the day, but ultimately he has to win this race pretty much. And he's a great road course racer. I haven't seen it this year really, but other than a couple races. But give me Tyler Reddick. I think he's going to be fired up this weekend. His son's doing a lot better. He's got his head on his shoulders now. His mind's working the correct way now. I think he really wants to win this race. He's going to have to win this race to make the round of 8. Haven't won a race all year. They haven't executed hardly at all year. So I think Tyler Reddick's going to be a menace on the track this weekend. He's going to be fighting for everything, and he's a hell of a talent. You know, if he drives for the worst manufacturer in NASCAR, I think he's going to get the job done on Sunday and lock himself into the round of 8. So give me Tyler Reddick this weekend.
It's a great pick. What you got going this weekend? You working?
Yep. Go back to my 4 nights. Go back to work Friday night. So have fun with that, but it's a Roval, so I'm glad I'm working on a Roval weekend. Rather work on this weekend than, Martinsville or whatever. So not the worst track to have to wake up a little early, maybe miss like the first few laps of it and stuff like that. So work this weekend, still got stuff to do around the house. Got to take my Rice House to the championship yet again. I beat Mr. Embree over here with his South Carolina Gamecocks at Willie B. The cockpit wasn't ready for the Rice Owls.
Hey, what did I do to Cincinnati next week, though?
Oh, when I said I was going to play, did you fall asleep when I said I figured. I'm going to play a game and then I'm going to get off. I played Charlotte, and I beat them 91-10. Beat the dog shit out of them.
You had to outdo my 79 points.
Outdid you. Wins Rice. I outdid you the next game.
Yeah, did you pull your starters in the third quarter, though?
I pulled my starters in the fourth quarter.
Okay, I pulled mine in the third. So.
Well, I was up 49-0 at halftime. I was kicked. They could not stop the run.
See, they were beating me. I was down in my game.
Yeah, they could not stop the run at all. So I just kept running it. And 49, 56-0. They scored a touchdown, a field goal in the third quarter. I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, I'm gonna start playing offense. I got another shot, scored a touchdown. So 63-10. I'm like, I'm gonna play offense from now. Simmed it. They scored immediately in sim. Simmed it again. They scored immediately on sim. It's 77-10. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm gonna
go coming back.
I'm gonna go for 90 points on these motherfuckers, and I did. I scored with like 10 seconds left to get it 91-10. So, still don't know why college football 26 was not offering me a job at any of these schools. I mean, fucking Wayne Kerr is a problem.
Yeah.
Come on now. I mean, Auburn, you want me? Florida, you want me? I'll take you. I'll beat this guy every year in the SEC. But, yes, got that going on. And, just kind of take it easy. Going to do some editing and stuff like that. But other than that, not a whole lot.
Yeah, I'll be off. I don't work again until Wednesday, so I'll be twiddling my thumbs.
Sounds
watching
good.
a really boring race on Sunday.
Sounds good. Well, if you made it far in the episode, shotgun a beer, drink a beer, drink ice cold
Coca-Cola.
Follow us on the Highline at the
Highline on the podcast.
Follow us on TikTok at the Highline Podcast. Follow us on YouTube at the Highline Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at the Highline Official. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Hit the notification bell.
Ding, ding.
Get every update every time we drop an episode. We'll come back with you next week to review the Roval and preview the round of 8, and I'm sure a whole lot more along the way. But until next time, go Tigers!
Go Cox.